Today, on a very special episode of Comics and Cosmetics. Are you tired of me just sitting around talking about nothing but comic books and sci-fi? I'm not either. Join me and Nicole from Rogue One Radio as I show her some pretty sweet professional makeup tips while we talk about her favorite character, the Scarlet Witch. Hey there, nerdlings, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. Make sure you smash that like button, hit the subscribe, and nail that bell so you can get notified whenever I'm back with another one of these magnificent videos. I'm Danny Sanssouci, licensed cosmetologist and registered super nerd, and this is Comics and Cosmetics, where I do my makeup while talking about whatever nerdy topic I've been obsessing about that week. You watch. Oh, I'm excited because today is a pretty special episode and I've got one of my favorite people and favorite YouTubers going to join us today. We're going to do things a little different. We're going to talk a little bit about her favorite character, the Scarlet Witch, while I show her some pretty awesome makeup tips while we complete a Scarlet Witch inspired look. This week, if you want to learn how I did the look I'm wearing right now, sit tight, because in about 2 seconds, I'm going to show you with one of my good friends, Nicole from Rogue One Radio. Right. Now, as I told you guys from the future, that this week we have a very special guest on Comics and Cosmetics, and we're going to do things a little different. For the first time ever, I am doing a tutorial. So if you have just flawless Nordic skin and a lovely oval shaped face, then this is the tutorial for you, especially if you like the Scarlet Witch. So allow me to introduce my guest today. We have Nicole for Rogue One Radio. Tell us a little about yourself, Nicole.
Well, I'm Nicole of Rogue One Radio. If you already follow me, you already know that I absolutely love Wanda, aka the Scarlet Witch, and I'm excited to be here tonight so we can talk about the Scarlet Witch, and I can actually learn a few makeup tips, because even though I have some basics you guys might see on me on Tuesday nights, my eyeballs get really small because I got big old cheeks, and I need to learn a few things at the same time chat about Scarlet Witch, which is pretty cool. And
it's kind of a, I guess you'd say like a niche base that we have, like girls who like makeup and comic books.
True. This is true.
So it's really nice to have someone here that is into those two things. So yay. Welcome.
I do.
All right. So before we get started, there's a few things you guys are going to need. Make sure you have some primer, your favorite foundation, something for contour, highlight, and blush. Then you're also going to need something for your eyebrows, pencil or powder. I use both myself. You're going to need some eyeshadow. For this one, I am using 2 palettes. I'm using my Jeffree Star Blood Sugar palette. If you don't have this palette, here is the color story. There you go. And then I'm also, for the nudes that I need, I'm using my Persona Identity 2 palette. There's that color story, so you get a good idea. And I'm really only going to use a couple colors out of this, probably just the black and the tan up here. All right, and you're also going to need some black eyeliner, and you're going to need some mascara. Of course, you're going to need brushes, blender sponges, concealer, eye base if you got it. You can use concealer as eye base. But with that being said, ooh, yeah, translucent powder. Did you get your translucent powder? I forgot. Yay!
Okay, well, this is why I always this is important.
It is. You really don't realize how important it is until you use it for the first time. You're like, oh, so that's what I've been missing out on. All right, we're gonna start off by I'm gonna dip my sponge into my primer, where you can just pour some primer out, and I'm just gonna start patting it on. You don't really want to smear anything because then it's going to set on your face and it's going to get streaky and weird, and we don't want that. So, Nicole, tell me what's your favorite thing about the Scarlet Witch? Like, what made you think, hey, man, I really dig this character and I want to learn more about her?
Well, Scarlet Witch, I've always been intrigued by her. Actually, it was my daughter who first really got me into the Scarlet Witch.
Uh huh.
She really likes the Scarlet Witch. Well, anyways, separate story. And I always found the character intriguing when we first met Wanda. Like, she's a lost soul. There's something about her. Like, there's just something about her, Wanda. And I don't know. There was something that when we met her in WandaVision, I really like her. Even more. I already liked her in Vision. You know, I love their story and whatnot. And I hope I'm doing this right.
You're doing it right. Make sure you get some down to about
Oh,
here,
yeah.
because we're going to contour.
Right. So from Endgame and the last few movies with her and Vision, I absolutely loved them. It makes sense because he's a part of her and she's a part of him because, I mean, that all happened with Tron and whatnot. So I don't know. There's something about Wanda, and I understand her. I understand her sadness. I understand that she just wants the happy ending. And I'm like, girl, I want the happy ending for you and for me. So I understand her. So when I was watching her in WandaVision, I was just more engaged with her and more like, oh, I understand. I get this. And it just kept pulling my heartstrings the whole time.
The relatability.
Right. The relatability.
I get that.
Do you use the same sponge or do you change sponges?
It depends on what I'm doing. For the primer and the foundation, I definitely use the same sponge.
And do you recommend like a certain way of using these sponges?
Well, this sponge, this shape here, this is what you would call kind of a total face sponge,
right? Okay.
Because you can blend. See the shape?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So, I have that exact same sponge.
Yeah, I've got a few of these. Yeah.
So this,
and I got a whole teardrop too. Oh, poor Wanda. Her teardrop coming down my face.
This pointy end you're going to use for more like concealer.
Okay.
The sides you can use to apply, and this end right here I like to use for blending.
Oh, the bottom piece?
Yes. Okay. That's a full face sponge too. You can use that for application also.
Okay.
But you'll see once we start like actually blending.
I do actually have like a concealer brush, foundation brush, but we'll use the sponge. Why not?
We're sponge worthy.
We're sponge worthy.
Okay. So, what really has always attracted me to the Scarlet Witch, and it's very close to the same reasons that you do or you are, and that's the relatability, her pain. She has a lot of pain and she really doesn't know what to do with it, and that is something that has translated not just in the comics but onto the screen as well, big screen and small screen. I mean, she's had a shit life. She's had a very shit life. Her parents died. She's trapped in this war zone. Then her brother dies. Her whole town disappears. Her whole country, just blows up thanks to Ultron. Brother dies. Then, she's forced to kill Vision. And
again. That's dumb.
Yeah. Only for Thanos to just kind of walk up and rewind time, bring him back, kill him all over again right in front of her. And then she goes to grieve, and inadvertently, through her grief, creates this whole world
Right.
and creates children. And she has children, and she creates them. She gives birth to them. They are real. They were real beings. And then when she closed the hex down, when she was forced to, they disappeared. I
Right.
mean, that, oh my gosh, problems
Yeah.
with your kids, that's just the
I get
freaking
that.
worst. But still, she trucks ahead. And then in Multiverse of Madness, this is what irked me when people are like, but you're ruining her character arc. She had gotten over it. No,
No, she didn't. She's a mom.
she is a mom. And when you're in that situation, when your kids, and just disregard what I'm doing real quick, this is my personal preference on my eyebrows. So what I do is I just kind of cover up the tails and then I make them bigger.
I'm just hoping I blended it all properly here. I'm looking. I'm like, did I get it all? Well, because see, with mine, I do. I use the what's called My Best Light. So when you blend it in, it actually turns out to be the correct color. Because if not, I'm pretty pale. I am, and I don't want to look like a ghost.
And if I hadn't been spending at least 2 days a week outside in the backyard, I would be sheet white right now. Oh, look at you. Already, darling, you're beautiful. Next, we're going to use concealer. Mine comes, I'm using my Fenty, and it has a wand.
I have a wand too.
Okay. So first, tip of your nose.
Tip.
Okay. And then straight line down the middle, but don't connect them.
Oh. Cool.
And then just a little bit above your eyebrow in the center, you're going to do one line and then like this.
Hey, you're beginning to look like Ahsoka.
Hey. All right.
Just saying.
And then a little on your chin, on your cupid bow. And then under your eyes. Okay, just a little up the cheekbone and right there. We don't waste product here. You don't need a whole glob. Okay, and then for me, because I have a square face, you don't need to do this because you already have the perfect shape that we're trying to achieve. I have a square face, so my goal is to try and make my face look like an oval. So in order to do that, I put a little more concealer right here, 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 and here. And now we're just going to very gently, with our sponge with the pointy end, we're going to tap that concealer and just blend it a little bit. Don't use a whole lot of pressure because you want to be able to see it. Just make sure there's no streakiness and it's not like, oh, wow, you've got white stripes on your face.
Well, I mean, you can't really tell me anyways.
So, yeah, Wanda, no. I think it kind of doubled down on the grief for her when she had to watch Vision die again.
On us.
And watch her children disappear after she had, found that love. And I mean, we all saw the end credit scene where she's sitting in the mountains in that cabin looking through the Darkhold, and then she hears them and she's like, oh, she was clearly looking for them. She had a plan. I'm telling you, you don't stand in the way of a mom trying to get them babies back. You just don't.
Right.
Things get ugly real fast. And so I was not surprised at all that she went as ham as she did in Multiverse of Madness, because honestly, that was coming.
Yeah.
I really felt like that was coming. Okay.
Oh, yeah. And we knew. I mean, come on. As soon as we heard the children in the trailer, we knew. Yeah. We knew what was going down.
Oh, yeah. So now we're going to move on to contour.
Okay, contouring is a brand new thing to me, so enjoy the ride, folks.
Okay, so for your particular face shape, you're going to ignore what I do here. I'm going to put contour on my jawline. You are not. Okay? What you want to do is start about where the top of your ear is. See, about right here.
Okay.
And you're just going to draw a straight line directly under your cheekbone to about
Okay.
here. So directly under your cheekbone, straight down. I'll show you on myself.
And this is the one where I'm going to use like a darker color, correct?
Yes. So this is how you're going to do it.
And I would use like a concealer brush with that, right? Or the small foundation.
What the small foundation brush would actually work best.
Okay.
So I'm just drawing a line.
Are those at home? Yes. This is a small brush. Small foundation brush.
I think I got
See, I've always been curious about contouring because I've seen it with greens and the purples and things like that. And I'm like, how? And me, when you had said about the darker color, I'm like, I'm kind of pale. We'll see how this goes.
Everything's darker.
But it's only like, I don't know, I guess we'll see how this goes. So here.
Just the line. Start right about the top of the ear, and you're going to want to go directly, just a straight line under your cheekbone.
I guess that helps too. Find that apple. Just smile.
Just smile.
I hope I'm doing that right.
Yes.
That's what I did. I'm like, I'm just going to smile because it'll draw itself.
So next, again, we're trying to make my face look like an oval. Your face already looks like an oval. So what you do up here, your contour up here is going to be much thinner. Like here, okay. This is how I do mine. I just kind of dot that on. Okay. And see how it kind of curves like this? Mm-hmm. That's because I'm making my face a what? An oval. And then again, on the other side, just kind of tap it in. Tap it. Okay.
But I don't do that because my face is already to that shape.
You just need like right here. Right up, just that upper corner, just a little bit. And then while you're doing that, I'm going to cut the corners on my square jaw.
Don't cut your jaw.
And
I'm like really curious how this is really going to turn out now. I'm assuming we're not going to leave those lines there.
No. And then you're going to take a little bit of contour, and you've got a good brush for that. So I'm going to use one too.
I do have a good brush.
We are going to contour our nose now. Ooh. So you're going to get some of the contour color on your brush.
Okay.
And lay it gently along the side here. Just watch me real quick.
Okay.
So I'm going to do it like this so you can see me better. So just one, and you notice I'm not going directly parallel. I'm kind of bringing it in a little bit to bring it to like kind of a point. And if your line's not perfectly straight, no big deal. That's what blending and concealer is for. So I've got the bridge just like that. Bring it down. Good. Okay. And now I'm going to do the tip.
The tip.
Just the tip. A little upside down triangle. There we go.
I don't know if I'm right.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
All right. Now that we've got the product on the face, pardon me, now we're going to blend it. Okay. So I once saw a news anchor, a guy, describe this as, when it comes to blending, you need to beat your face like you hate it. Makes sense. So you're not going to do smearing because smearing is just going to like mush them all together too much. You want to tap. So you're just going to kind of come up here and along the edges, just tap it and see how it's already. Ta-da. Same thing. Just tap it in.
Just tap.
Beat your face like you hate it.
Okay.
Okay. And now under your cheekbone, again, you don't want to get rid of the line altogether. You're trying to create a gradient effect. So don't do so much that it goes away. Just make sure that it's creating a shadow, because that's what we're doing. See?
Mm-hmm.
Drag that up a little bit.
I'm like, I'm so fair skin. I'm looking, I'm going, I don't know if I got rid of it or if it's still there. It still might be there.
But contour is like magic. And since we don't possess chaos magic, we have to use makeup and blending sponges. For this, I just kind of, and I do this to kind of minimize my waddle.
We got to do what we got to do. For me, I just got to get my eyes to go, hello.
That's what we're going to do today. All right. I got to blend that a little more. All right. For your nose, we need to be very, very careful. So you need something that looks kind of like this. Okay. Something very, very fine pointed. Or if you have a brush, something like this or this.
Okay.
Those will work.
Like a concealer one?
This is actually called a crease brush. And this is a blender brush. For the nose, same concept. You don't want to get rid of the color altogether. You're creating a shadow or a gradient effect. So you're going to go along those outside lines and just kind of tap.
Tap, tap, tappy. Tap, tap, tappy.
Tap, tap, taparoo. And then I like to brush it off before I move on. That way it doesn't have a whole bunch of product on it from blending that one side, and thus, making it muddy or smeary, because you can overblend. Overblending creates a muddy look.
You don't want.
No, you don't want a muddy look. Okay. And then, like I said, just keep going along that outer line. And if you make a mistake or it goes too high up, no big whoop. That's what concealer's for. Okay? It's like whiteout. Literally, for us. So, like for me, I'm going to just put like little, very, very little taps. And because sometimes I do go a little crazy when blending my nose. There we go. All right. Woo! Now we're cooking with gas. All right. What kind of blush do you have? Yay! Okay. For you, I want you to put blush up like this, like right above where you contoured. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sweaty. Okay. So you're going to go right above where you contoured, right up this way. Me, because I have a square face and I'm trying to draw the eye to the center, straight up and down, to give it the appearance of a more narrow look, I take my blush, and I'm using a liquid, and I put it right in the center. Okay. What would you think the Scarlet Witch's favorite makeup brand would be?
Some days I think she's a minimalist, and other days I think she's all about it.
It really depends on the mood.
It really does.
I think she'd really like I have some stuff by Hollow Grave Cosmetics, and they have really cute packaging. It's these little coffins with a moon on it. I think she'd like that. That, or old Kat Von D, not before she sold it. Now it's KVD, and not before she stole Jeffree Star's concealer out of his warehouse. We all know, Kat. We all know. Shame.
But of course, I love my ColourPop too, so she might like ColourPop.
I do. Yeah, I do like some ColourPop.
Right, because they have where it's from, where it's really nice and light and pretty, to the really more extremes, and it all depends on what's in the palette. So
I got Amelia the Mandalorian palettes from ColourPop.
Cool.
She loves them. All right, when you're done with your blush, we are going to bake our face.
Not like that.
Not like that. That's for after we record. So, okay, so I have this sponge that looks like this.
Okay.
And then and you're definitely going to want to hold this under your face. because it will go
What
everywhere.
what is the product that you are using?
This is translucent powder. I apologize.
Okay.
So we're
Just
going to
double
put
check.
this right under our eye, kind of like this, okay, on both sides. And this is going to do a few things for our look. Most importantly, and most immediately, it is going to catch whatever fallout we have from our eyeshadow, and we can just sweep it away without it streaking our face.
Gotcha.
Okay, so you want to be somewhat liberal when you're using brands that have lots of fallout. And Jeffree, I love you. I love you, Jeffree Star. But bitch, you know your eyeshadow palettes have hella fallout. Okay? Okay. Good talk. Good talk. Because I know you watch me religiously. Anyway, so you're also going to apply this to the places on your face where we applied the concealer, where we didn't contour. I don't want to just say highlight because we haven't applied our highlight yet, and highlight's going to go more up this way. But wherever you want your face to be lighter, you know what I mean? Not the contour. That's where you're going to apply it.
I'm already light. So
Well, this not only, like I said, the first thing and most immediate reason that we're using this is to catch fallout from makeup products. But it's also going to soften your look. It's going to keep it from being too shiny. And it's also going to blend together your face makeup. So it does a lot of things, and it's extremely beneficial. It's going to set your makeup so it's less likely to shift or move or clump up or collect, if you know what I mean. It's going to give it a nice, softer appearance. Now, we're going to do eyebrows next. Now, for mine, I like to, I know where I put it. Like I said earlier, I like to kind of change up the shape of my eyebrows when I do glam makeup.
okay.
And that's because I don't have hair on my face except for like right there. The rest of my eyebrows have been microbladed on. That's where I've tattooed the individual hairs. So the eyebrows that you normally see before I put my makeup on, I call those my daily drivers. And the ones I'm about to put on are my glam eyebrows. So real quick, I'm going to do the tails of my eyebrows. What do you like to use for your eyebrows? Just
Okay, so one, I have my handy brush because I always do keep a brush. I've actually kept one of these even since I was even in high school. These are important. Get a good one. I actually really like, please, dear Soap and Glory, if you're listening, bring this back to the US. We love you. Okay.
Oh, I love Soap and Glory.
Their brow bar, which is the Archer. And so I like using those because like I can, add a little additional color, add additional highlight and stuff like that. And I mean, I get a really decent arch and for me, I like them to look natural, but still have some dramatic effect.
Exactly. I don't like my eyebrows looking like they've been stamped on. So I do a combination of a couple things. Okay. My favorite eyebrow pencil, period, is it's by Billion Dollar Brows. And it's a micro brow pencil. A close second is my Benefit Precisely My Brow. I mean, look how tiny and fine it is. Like this is awesome. And Huda has one. There we go. Huda has a fine point, but it broke off every single time I applied it to skin. Every single time. Not a fan. Huda girl, get it together. What I do for mine, I'm using an eyebrow palette by Revolution. And I have an angled brush. And I'm going to dip it. Your brows should be, and this is coming from a cosmetologist, an MUA. Your brows should be about a shade or two darker than your hair. If it is the exact same color as your hair, they're going to wash out. Right. It's going to wash you out. So I'm using this color right here. Right. And as you can tell, all my hair is not platinum. It's kind of dark in the back. Well,
mine's actually a lot of blonde. Y'all just don't see it. It's up in a bun right now.
So I'm going for this darker one. And again, I keep saying this because it's very, very important that everyone take this to heart. But if you mess up, it's okay, man. That's what concealer's for. You think these professional makeup artists are just totally pulling off these perfect precision lines every single time they touch? No. No, they're not. They're human too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go just under my actual brow, and I'm going to slowly drag a line up, and I'm going to go a little higher than what I would normally go, or a little higher than my natural brow goes.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going to create a more dramatic arch for me, which is what I like. And then I'm going to go directly on top of it, and I'm creating this kind of outline like that. And I like to do that on both sides first. I keep hitting the table. Okay. All right. Here we go.
They went too dramatic the first time around.
You're going to kind of, if you're doing them like me, you're going to end up looking like a Vulcan for a hot second, but that's okay. According to Strange New World, Spock is now hot. So I think that's one of me and Rose's problems with the new Spock, is that I think they just made him a little too attractive. But that's just me. Another easy trick to getting the absolute perfect eyebrows is, I mean, you're going to use math, okay? I'm sorry, but you're going to need math. So you can take a handle of a makeup brush, you can anything that's shaped like this, and you're going to measure from your nostril and the inner and outer corners of your eyes. So this is where your brow should start. Measure here to here. That's where it should end. Okay. And here through your pupil, if you look straight ahead and you draw a line through your pupil, that's where your arch should be. So that will help you with placement. And then to fill in these tails here, you're going to make triangles. So I'm going to go up and create my first line there. And then I'm going to make my triangle to fill in the rest. I don't know what kind of triangle that is. I'm not a geometrist. Geologist? That's rocks. Geometrist. That made me sound fancy. And, you know, if you know in the comics with Scarlet Witch, you can tell when they're going to make her evil or crazy.
Based off her makeup.
Based off her makeup and her hair.
Yes.
Short hair Wanda goes ham on everybody, including reality. And I feel like, you know, they really did their research on that.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know how many times a woman comes in my chair and she's got long, beautiful hair, and she either says, I want bangs, short ones right there, or you just cut it all off. The first thing I'm going to ask is, honey, what is going on in your life? That's going to help us make a decision on how we should do this. So they clearly did excellent research on Wanda for that.
Yes. This is true. This I can confirm. I get a natural itch in the spring for wanting to cut my hair short, but it seems like if I've gone through anything, I usually want to cut it.
Mm-hmm.
And not a little bit, but a big cut.
Because you're wanting a change.
Right. Wanting change, wanting new, wanting to break away from whatever it is.
It's a control thing. You can't control the outer things that are influencing, but you can control your body.
Right. Correct. I agree with that. And I believe that they also use that with Wanda / Scarlet Witch, in the series, not necessarily in the comics. Comics, she's just classic beauty. So.
And I love how her costume has evolved. This is something you and I talked about before when we saw those guys online they got rid of her cleavage.
Boobs aren't everything, dude.
I was like, honestly, I didn't really even notice that they'd gotten rid of the cleavage until we saw
I noticed everything else. I noticed her eyes. I noticed her beautiful, her long hair and the wild, crazy waves. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to rock those.
Yes.
Yeah, we were noticing everything else. We weren't noticing.
I
Hello,
And
eyes
I
up
thought
here.
it was really cool how they integrated, the Mind Stone in her clavicle and the
Yep.
broken heart,
Yep.
kind of shattering out. Like,
Hmm.
really? I mean, it's form fitting. You can still see boobs. What is the complaint here? So I've got my powder on. So now I'm
Yep.
going to take my micro pencil and
Okay.
I'm just going to flick it upwards to create little hairs at the head of my brow. Look at that. That looks like a real hair.
Good to
And
know. Over microblade.
I love microblading. I love doing the actual microblading. I love getting microblading done. Yeah, it hurts, but I mean, it's one of the best things I've ever done for myself as a middle-aged woman. That I can confirm. So now, once we have our eyebrows on, we need a concealer brush and some concealer. I have some stuff in my eyebrow palette already, so I use that. But we're going to go just under the eyebrow to kind of clean up and polish that brow. So I'm just going to go directly under it and start working my way up. Ta-da. And then after you've done that, what I like to do for mine, you don't have to if you don't want to. But when I do professional makeup and I'm doing someone's eyebrows, I like to make the eyebrow stand out as much as possible. It frames the face. It creates height. The higher your eyebrow arches, I mean, the older we get, our skin droops, right? So our eyebrows get lower. If we want to look younger, we've got to make them look more stand out, a little higher up. So I go just on the outside, a very, very, very thin line with my concealer like this. And this, like I said, it's going to do a couple things. It's going to make the eyebrow stand out more, and it's going to make it look like it's not actually painted on my face like it is.
Interesting. Good tip.
That's what we're here for, Nicole. All right, next one. And it's also a good way to correct any mistakes you made putting your eyebrows on. And I like to just use my pinky to blend out that top line there. All right. And now, since we're getting ready to do the eye makeup, I'm just going to cover the lid with that concealer or eye base so we have a nice blank canvas to work with. Again, none of these things are things Wanda has to concern herself with because all she has to do is snap her fingers and her makeup is done. Like, ugh, I hate you.
I wish.
Not fair.
Not fair. See, I'll just use my finger.
All right, when you get that on, take one of your blenders and just kind of pat it out, and you're just smoothing it. You're not trying to blend it away. You're just trying to get rid of any clumps or creases. Make sure
That's what I was doing with my finger. Okay, I'm old fashioned. I'm just used to my hands. I'm still learning.
You use your finger. Like I said, your finger is like the best thing. Okay, so now I'm going to move my little plate aside, but I'm going to keep my concealer near.
Okay.
And I'm going to pull out the first of our palettes. I'm going to use the nude colors first. All right, this is where we get into it.
Okay.
All right, so you need a brush that you can work with like this. We're going to use it for crease. So something that you can apply the crease makeup with.
So an angled eyeshadow brush or an eyeshadow brush?
So Nicole and I have something that is called hooded eyelids. That means you don't see a very deep definition it from our brow bone to our actual lid. Okay. But we're going to dip into that nude color first.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
And I am creating, that's me patting out the creases. I'm going to start kind of above, like at the corner of my eye, but above it, like following that brow bone. But I'm going to go up a little higher from it, and I'm doing like a U shape. Can you see at all what I'm doing?
Yes.
Okay.
I
So
just don't doing it right, but yes.
now see how I'm tapping it on.
Yes.
Okay. And you want to be somewhat liberal. There we go. What we're doing is we're creating that, like already you can see a difference. My right eye looks bigger and it's more noticeable than my left.
Right.
So we're going to do that again on the other side. You're going to start just above the corner of your eye and make that U shape. Definitely pushing against that brow bone. So we make sure we get a liberal amount on there because we're going to blend it before we put on the other colors. And we're going to kind of create somewhat of a smoky look today because we're doing Scarlet Witch in her full glory. So after I get that on, notice I'm raising my eyebrows a lot when I'm doing this. And that's because I want the skin to be taut, nice and taut. So once I'm ready to blend, and it's best to use like a sponge or a puff or a piece of fabric so you're not messing up the makeup, especially if you're doing someone else's makeup. Lift it with your sponge and hold it. And then I'm only going along the outer line of where I put the product, nowhere else, just that outer line. And I am batting it, just pop, 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 all the way around. And if you've got decent eyeshadow or you put enough on there, it will blend out rather quick like that. Because we want the color there. We just don't want like this dramatic stripe of color and then nothing else. Right? Okay. So both sides, we're going to blend it out.
Blend, blend, blend.
Blend, blend, blendy. Don't overblend because that's how it gets muddy.
This is going to be so interesting because I'm so fair skin in comparison. It'll be interesting to see the final results. And we have slightly different palettes, but they're almost the same. So
I know, but it'll be fine. And because you bought your palettes, those are colors that you know work with your skin tone.
the newest one is different. I've never used red before. So this will be a first.
Okay. So next, I'm going to go with this darker brown down here.
Darker brown. Got it. Trying to think of what
I'm going to dip my product brush into it. I'm going to give it a good tap. This is a good habit to get into when you're applying your makeup. Just give it a good tap. That's going to help fallout from getting on your face. Yes, we have the translucent powder there, but it's just a good habit because you never know if you're just going real fast and you've got a spot where your translucent powder came off and then you try to sweep it away and you've just smeared black eyeshadow all over you. And that's a pisser. Okay. Let's just be real. It pisses you off every time. So in your product, give it a tap. And then I'm going to go just under the light color, the tan color, and I'm going to apply the darker brown there. Okay. Just like that. There we go. And then the other side. Okay. And once we get that on, we're going to blend it again. And this time you do want to be very, very careful because you don't want to remove any of that tan color. So again, make sure the skin is nice and tight, giving you a good surface. to push against. You need some resistance. Much like the resistance Wanda met in Westview and in the world.
As I started thinking about Star Wars, wrong fandom. That'll be another day.
Or Star Trek, resistance is futile.
Yeah.
Okay. And the last color for what we're doing here, we're going to use is black.
Ooh, mama.
Mm-hmm.
Now, now, what kind of brush are you using for that?
Same thing. We're doing the exact same thing with the black. Okay. And you do want to make sure you leave this out because we do have to do the underside. Okay.
I've got everything.
When we're done, we have to do the underside because, well, much like George Lucas said, it's like poetry. It's got a rhyme.
I mean, look at her.
Woo woo.
Okay, look, so am I going shiny black or am I going like a black look?
Black. Okay. So again, this time we're going just under the dark brown. So
just so you all know, it's about to get really changed up in here with this girl because you're gonna know.
What have we done?
I've done smoky eyes before, so I know that this is when the real change happens.
We spent so much time wondering if we could. We never asked if we should. Sorry, Jeff Goldblum.
Like, is it like I'm gonna watch you. How are you doing this?
Okay. So just under the dark brown, I'm on the lid now, but I'm still making that U shape.
Oh,
Think
great.
of it as we're making a rainbow out of nudes.
I don't know, but I feel like I just messed up.
Hey, you got concealer, baby. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
I don't know. We'll see. Because you can see the difference here, Danny. Okay? Look at it. Look at that.
Yeah, but I've been doing this for 15 years and people pay me $50, $60 a pop. So don't compare yourself to me. Okay.
Like, I feel like I'm smudging.
Don't worry about it. Just tap it on and then we're going to blend it. Just like we did before.
Are you starting to blend?
Yes. Okay. You just keep working at your pace.
Okay. I think I've had to work more on this one than the others. Just because it's
hey, listen, don't be scared of black. Don't be scared of black, okay?
Well, I've done black and grays before. It's just that I'm very careful with them because, again, I am so pale.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want to ever look like I have a...
Look at me real quick. Okay, do you see the end result? I have a crease. That's what we're doing. You're not going to see like, oh my God, she's wearing black. We're creating an illusion here.
Hey, there's an illusion in WandaVision. Actually,
exactly.
WandaVision Glamour was actually a nod to the comic books of the actual characters, Illusion and Glamour.
Yep.
I feel like one side's more dramatic than the other.
Let me see. Look at. Come close. You're looking good. You're looking good.
Good. I'm trying.
Don't swipe. Don't stop swiping. Just tap. Tap, tap, tap.
Tappy, tappy, tap. Tappy, tappy, tap.
I send you brushes like this. You need brushes like this.
Right. I need, for what's coming?
No, for what we were just doing. These would work so much better. I may have to send you something. And for you guys at home, you've heard me say this many times, I'm sure, your materials matter. Your tools matter. And I know. Listen,
One of my old brushes that usually works really
good. There you go. I'm a broke bitch too. Just because I'm sitting here and it looks like I've got a TARDIS, sure. But I'm still on a budget, man. But if I want my makeup to look a certain way, if that's my priority, I will save up and get the stuff that I know works best. Listen, a lot of the makeup brands out there, palettes, mostly eyeshadow palettes, and your translucent powders, anything that's made out of a powder is going to have talc in it. Okay. And if you're going with a low end brand and they're using talc, chances are it's got asbestos in it.
Not mine.
Okay? That is
bicolor pop things.
That is
Those are
That is
my.
a true story. A lot of cheaper makeup brands have asbestos because they're not spending the money to. Asbestos and talc, they're mined from the same place. They come like this. So it has to be separated and it has to be tested. And if a company isn't spending the money to have it tested, then chances are you are putting asbestos on your face and you don't want to do that. And not just that, not just your health, okay? Not just running the risk of mesothelioma and breast cancer, but it's not going to blend the way you see the professionals do it or YouTubers do it. It's not going to blend the same. It's not going to be as pigmented. So I have had several people contact me on Instagram and Twitter asking, how do you get your colors to be that bright? I keep trying to use this and it's just not coming out as bright as yours. Well, what are you using? Well, if you're using Wet n Wild or e.l.f. or LA Looks, chances are it's going to be very faded and it's not going to blend well because it's made with cheaper materials, lots of bone meal, talc, and asbestos. So again, for your health, for the look of your makeup, your tools and your materials matter 100%. There's no way around it. Okay, I'm done with that. All right, so now once we have this all blended, okay, we're going to take a little bit of concealer or eye base and we're going to tap it in the center where there's still no eyeshadow or where we have not purposely placed eyeshadow. So we're just going to do this, okay? And then you can take your finger, preferably your ring finger. It's the weakest of your fingers so you're not poking yourself in the eye and causing damage, but just lightly tap that around to where it's not as sticky and it's blended out a little bit. And there's a reason for this, so tap just in the center right there, just a little bit. Don't waste product. This shit's expensive. And then tap. I need to go a little bit more right there. And just
like I looked through like in my mirrors. I actually did find me a mirror like right here, and I was like, oh. And then I look here and I'm like, we're not done yet.
Okay, so now for the piece de resistance, we're going to pick a red. I feel like I'm going to go kind of bold with this. You pick whatever red you feel comfortable with. I'm going to go a little crazy with it. I'm just going to go a little crazy.
Is yours more shimmery or is it more like matte?
I have a matte, but I do have stuff I can put shimmer on it to make it look shimmery. But if you're using the Blood Sugar palette by Jeffree Star, I'm using Cherry Soda. There it is. Right, that one.
Okay.
Cherry Soda. Okay. And then we're just going to pat that on the lid where we put the concealer and just slightly above it. The technique that we're using today is a technique that was made famous by a man named Kevin Aquan. He was a very, very famous makeup artist in the 80s and 90s. I mean, he did everybody's makeup. And in fact, when I was in cosmetology school and I was getting my advanced diploma for makeup, they gave me a Kevin Aquan book. I didn't have like an actual makeup teacher. I had a book and it was Kevin Aquan. So I'm a big fan of a lot of his techniques. This one in particular, if you really want to learn some really, creative and resourceful and awesome usable makeup techniques, get you a friend that's a drag queen, okay? Or follow a drag queen makeup channel. They are amazing at what they do. I mean, amazing. Okay, I've got my red on, and I was very, very liberal with it. I put like piles of it on there. And now that I've got that on, just like the rest of it, I'm going to blend it, but I'm going to blend it softer than I did the nude colors in our nude rainbow. This is just so I can...
Rainbow?
Yeah, our nude rainbow. Oh, where's Scuttle Daddy?
Where's the Podfather? I can't call him that. I'm like, no, it's the Podfather.
Now, like George Lucas says about writing screenplays and movies, well, duh, you need a screenplay for a movie. It's like poetry. It has to rhyme. So if we left it just like this, it wouldn't look right. It wouldn't look right at all. So, and we're not going to put eyeliner, black eyeliner, in our water lines. Why? I mean, that's normally what you do when you create a smoky smudge look, right? Yeah. But when we're trying to make our eyes appear larger, if we put black in there, it's just going to make them look smaller.
Smaller. That I did know because no.
So let's see. If you have a white liner, you could.
I have lots.
Okay. But some other time, if you have a white liner, you could take the white, draw it along your bottom lash line and waterline, and immediately your eye looks bigger. So that is a trick. If you have smaller eyes and you'd like them to appear larger, use a white eyeliner. So, okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take a brush we can use that's more, it's finer point, it's smaller. So we're going to use something like this or something like this. Okay. And we're going to first dip into that initial color, the very first color we used. It's like poetry. It's got a bang. You're going to dip into that. Make sure you tap.
Taupe?
Huh?
The taupe?
Yes. And
the taupe browns.
Yeah, that tan, that light tan color. And that's going to go the entire length of your bottom lash line. See that?
Yes.
Like that. Almost like you're putting on eyeliner. But you can smudge it down a little bit. That's fine. So we're going to do that on both eyes.
Now, this is something I have not done, so this will be interesting.
Well, our generation never did this. I really got to give it up for this generation behind us. They have really, really upped the makeup game. Like, I would have never in a million years thought to do any of this to my face when I was a teenager or 20 years old. I wouldn't have thought that at all. But, you know, now we have collectible eyeshadow palettes. That's amazing. Ro, when we first met, he was asking me about my collectibles, and I'm like, yeah, I got a bunch. And it's all makeup palettes. The information out there, the product availability, the tutorials, this generation has really, everything else about them sucks, but the makeup is great. I'm sorry. No, you're not all terrible. Okay, so we've got the tan on. Now we're going to move on to that darker brown color. And we're going to put that just under it, just right there. And we're kind of using it to blend that light tan. We're applying and blending at the same time. So just tap it on there. And then for the black, same thing. Just a little bit, just tap it on that lash line.
On the bottom. We're still talking about the bottom.
Yes. Yeah, we're pretty much done with the top.
Oh, you don't do liner on the top?
Oh, we're going to do liner. We're not doing liner yet. We're done with eyeshadow on the top. So we've got the black on there. Awesome. And it just kind of blends itself when you're doing it that way. So we are now officially done with that nude palette. And the very last thing we're going to do is we're going to dip into that red color we used. And we're going to put it just under the smudge line we made with the nudes and the black.
On the bottom.
So it's going to almost look like a red smoky eye. But be very gentle. Be patient as you put it on. Don't rush, because it can go bad if you do. The point is, we want to see the smudge, and we want to see that pop of red as well.
I wish you see me like in person, like it's so interesting because I'm looking and I'm like, I can see what's happening and it looks so cool. But then I look at the camera and go, can't even see my balls.
Stop it. Okay. When you are done with the last of the eyeshadow, that red right there, you know what? Before we do that, what kind of highlighter you got?
Highlighter?
Mm-hmm. Like highlight.
Well, just for my brows.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I have.
Okay. We'll just use that. I like to use my pinky,
Okay.
and I'm just going to tap that on my arch there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, except I can, yeah.
Okay. We've got our eyes on except for eyeliner and mascara. What we're going to do next is we're going to take a big brush. Do you got a
Okay.
big one? Or something
Yeah.
you can dust
Yes.
with?
I'm grabbing.
Okay. We are going to sweep off all the translucent powder. Okay?
Okay.
Sweep, sweep, sweep. Just like Wanda swept all our problems under the rug. Okay, so now we're going to do eyeliner and mascara. I like taking off all of that translucent powder before the eyeliner and mascara because I don't want to accidentally dust it off and it still be wet, you know?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're going to take our black liner pencil. I warm it up like this for my personal liner. I don't do this on the liner I use on people. Don't come for me, okay? It's enough. Okay. Warm it up a little. And then just one line over the top of the...
Now, do you start in the middle? I mean, all the way in the inner, or do you start in the outer?
Wherever you're more comfortable. Whatever works
We're going
for
in,
you.
folks.
And
Yes.
that's something I should have said, go ahead and put your eyeliner on. I'm going to talk to the living room. Now, you guys have probably heard me say this before. If you haven't, I'm going to say it now. There is no definite technique. There is no one technique, one correct way to do this or one correct way to do that. There just isn't. I mean, if the way I do my makeup works for you, fantastic. Please use that. If it doesn't, no big deal. This is what works for me. So you have to find the product and the technique that works for you. And that's what will look best. I'm not here to tell you that I'm the end all beat all expert. I'm not. I'm just someone who's been paid to do this for a while. I mean, my 13-year-old daughter can do stuff that I've never seen anyone else do, and she has no training. So if it works for you, then that is the right technique. That's all I'm saying. And that's the tweet. Okay.
Forgive me. Going in another direction. Left-handed, so this looks a little awkward.
You're left-handed?
Yes.
That's cool. You know, both my boys came out left-handed. Both my girls came out right-handed. I have always thought that's interesting.
Eyeliner has always been an issue for me. It takes me, like just now, I'm like, my pencil, I don't like it at that moment. So I'm just like, screw it. I'm grabbing out my liquid, which seems to be going out much better. But it's like,
I understand. I have several different types of eyeliner that I use for different styles, different things. I actually have, and I'll have to show you, a drawer filled with virtually every color of the rainbow. I make eyeliner, I'm not kidding. And it does come from Hollow Grave. They have these liners called moon water liners. And you just put like a drop of water in there and then swirl your brush in it, and it comes down to like a gel.
oh,
And
wow.
it's so smooth and so easy. I love it.
Hey, look, you can kind of see my eyes now.
Yay! And we're just gonna...
This is the thing about liner. This does help my eyes pop.
And
the right lipstick too. Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm. So then you're going to just line that bottom lash line too with that black. And that should definitely make your eyes pop, 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 pop. Pop, 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 pop.
Almost want to sing Popular. I know you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do. Oh, Christian Chenoweth. Just love you.
The sign got awfully long way to go. Oh yeah, I can just start singing that song like right off of it. I've got it like right here. If I needed to if I needed to pop out that Grimrick book, got it right there.
Oh man, I gotta. If only CJ or Caitlin from Play and Portray Photography was here with us, she would stop. She'd still be singing.
There we go.
All right, now for mascara. There's actually a trick to putting on mascara.
Okay, let's hear it.
All right, so you want to raise your eyebrows, obvi. You want
your like the 1980s.
You want to kind of look down. So if you're looking at a mirror, don't look straight at it and raise your eyebrows. Kind of tilt back a little bit so your eyes are looking down. Then you want to roll the wand into the lashes and wiggle as you pull it through. That way you are feeding all of your lashes into the spoolie, and it is coating and separating them at the same time. Fun fact.
To buy comics and cosmetics. And of course, somebody can always choose to also add on additional lashes if you ever want to.
Absolutely.
That's our advanced training day.
Hey, we've got 40 videos on comics and cosmetics, and there's not one of them where I'm not wearing strip lashes or lash extensions. My nerdlings know. Mama like her lashes.
But look. Woo! Little lashes.
Yeah. Looking fierce, lady. All right, and then you want to just very gently put some on your bottom lashes.
Yeah, I just did that. We're going to see a meme here later and be like, you did not just do that.
Well, look, another tip. If you get mascara on your face, if you get it anywhere on you that is not your lash, leave it there. Leave it there. Finish your makeup, let it dry, then get a clean, dry spoolie and scratch it off. And it comes right off and it doesn't mess up your makeup.
Very cool.
Pro tip from me to you. And I'm going to glam mine up a little bit with my big bang.
Woo!
I have, this is not an exaggeration, I have 25 shades of foundation and 20 different types of mascara. All right. Now that we've got our mascara on, if y'all are highlighting, this is how you highlight. This is how you highlight. All right. So,
highlight again. Sorry, I'm a song girl. Anything will send me to us. To sing a song.
So I'm using kind of a gold highlighter myself because I've kind of olive skin, and all those places where we put the white concealer or the lighter concealer, you're just going to tap it on there.
Good to know.
And already you can see my nose from space, which is what I wanted. Okay. And the Cupid's bow. Yes, girl. Yes.
I think we'll just grab a little and just.
I'm going to take a bigger brush and I'm going to put it right here on my cheekbones. And then I'm going to go just above my brow. Basically, it's wherever light would be hitting your face and be shiny. And I know we worked really, really hard to make sure that the rest of our face is not shiny, but a couple spots are okay.
I'm just gonna get this pretty sure I got that right now.
Okay. There we go. I am sufficiently highlighted. And now, what would you like to do for your lips, my love?
Oh, I did get me something a little special for this one.
Oh, let me hear all about it.
Because it's this one's special because we have to go with something with red because it is of course Wanda and it is Scarlet. And I found this MAC lipstick.
Oh, I love MAC.
And
that was my first makeup love.
Chili. Because she's not spicy.
Ooh, okay. We're doing it like that.
For tonight. Just for tonight.
I see.
Those who see me though a lot, I love red lipstick. Red lipstick is one of my favorites. It's one of my favorite. Like, and I have a variety. I have some that are more like pinky red and others that are red. Well, you probably got a lot of them.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what you're talking about.
But I do. I love my red lipstick.
So normally, no. There we go.
Man down.
Man down. I'm a big fan of Jeffree Star, obviously. That is pretty. That looks like my unicorn blood. Look at that. Looks like my unicorn blood.
Woo! Party.
So I'm going with Wifey. No, this is red rum.
Oh.
That matches my cherry soda on my eyes. Now, normally the rule of thumb would be if you're doing bold eyes, you don't want to do bold lips as well, because then you could end up looking like Mimi from the Drew Carey show.
We're not we're gonna look awesome.
Yeah, if you're going for a theme though, especially if you're kind of cosplaying or whatever, then go for it. So first I'm going to line, I have no lips. If I got anything from my grandmother, it would be my really bad attitude and the fact that I don't have lips. So I line just on the outside of my lips.
On the top and bottom, or just the top?
Both, because I have no lips. And again, we have concealer.
I happen to have a lip pencil that's also here, so that just happened to, good timing. But I always think like my lipstick always helps to make my face pop or my eyes pop. So it's also a reason why I love to use my reds.
I love red lipstick. I was scared of it when I was younger. I didn't think I could pull it off. And then someone told me one day, you're letting the lipstick wear you. You got to wear the lipstick. Red comes with an attitude. True that, homie. And once you get it lined, just slap on the color. Oh, yes.
Okay, I'm looking forward to this.
Another thing, red lipstick makes your teeth look whiter. So if you're self-conscious about the whiteness of your teeth, slap on some red lipstick, yo.
I love red. Like I'm like all like, yes, I'm in my red.
I am feeling myself. All right. Feel so pinup right now.
Oh, I know. I love pinup.
I do too. Love, love, love it.
More classic, the better. I love classic.
And there we have it. What do you think, Nicole?
Not too bad. Not too shabby. Yeah. I feel like we should be going out though.
We should.
Out of that town.
I'll meet you like in Chester. Like right halfway. Well, Nicole, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Thanks for talking to me about Scarlet Witch and doing makeup with me. This has been fun.
It has been fun.
It matches my shirt.
Okay. Actually, it does match my shirt.
Make sure you check out Nicole at Rogue One Radio on YouTube and have that right here for you. Look at that. Oh, yeah. You can also follow her on Twitter right here as well. I want to thank JT Gunter for making these lower thirds for me. They're spectacular. They're everything I hoped for and more. So thank you. Red 5. You can follow us on Twitter. You can follow us on all the socials and now TikTok. Just look up Comics and Cosmetics. You can follow our Patreon. You can follow us everywhere. I mean, I'm everywhere. And we now have merch. Ta-da!
Your merchandise.
And TeePublic is amazing. I didn't realize how amazing it was. Like, it has literally everything. And like someone just bought one of these shirts, and you can get it in any color, but she actually got it to where this part was black and the sleeves are white. And it looks so cool. Like, I'm a little jealous. I should have gotten that. Guys, I hope you like this segment. If you do, make sure you smash that like button, highlight the subscribe, and contour that bell so you get notified whenever I'm back with another one of these magnificent videos. Until then, guys, have a wizard weekend, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.